Huh? It's a house!
Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh?
What's going on, freaks?
Hold on.
All right. Today's been a long journey. So I was thinking of doing something tonight where if we get to 500, I'll donate $500 to RAIN. Violence against women, since tonight's show is, both cases are about that. So if you guys are interested in that, that'd be great. If we don't get the 500, it just goes back into the pool. All right? And we'll give RAIN some money at the end of the month on bulk. Would you guys be interested in that at all? RAINN, which is violence against women. I know it's not. We're not gonna have a huge crowd, so it'd be like a few of you would have to be into it. People just don't care if it's not about the popular cases. I mean, look at it. I have 128,000 subscribers, and I have 136 people watching. How's that possible? I mean, you would think that just accidentally you'd have 1,000, right? Great, they just don't like you. Well, then that's just the way it is. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be any different. Hey, thank you, Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Gaming sub Crystal. Yeah, I mean, it's wild, you know? Some jackass can sit there and just go, yo, yeah, woohoo, you guys are so great. And they get like 2,000, 3,000 people talking about the same shit every night over and over and over again. Hey, thanks, Crystal, a.k.a. Beaver Game sub Crystal, and Play-Doh. Not Play-Doh, but Play-Toe. Let's get go for the donation to Rain. Yeah. Tried to rip off. But anyways, today was just a weird day. So my wife's traveling. She went to go visit family back over in the Philippines. And, we talk. She always checks in every single night. Like hey, because, I mean, it's kind of crazy when somebody's 6,000 miles away in a third world country with, it's just, who the hell knows what's going on. And then, 9 o'clock last night, it's 9 hours ahead, but the next day, right? So it's like if it's 9 here, it's 12 noon there, but the next day. And so we do these like Facebook Messenger because it's free. It's crazy. It's just like, oh yeah, you're talking. And so we were doing that. And then I tried calling her at 9 after the show last night. And then, at 10 o'clock, 10:30, normally she answers, and it just kept going on and on and on. And then 3 in the morning, I woke up and I tried again, and that, but I'm looking at her, what is that, Life 360, and she's in this little area, and it just was dead. The phone was 21 hours before that. It just went, like it's just right there in the middle of this place, and it looked like a hellhole. Like it was just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you live there, it's not bad, but here, let me show you. I actually have it on. So I just kind of got freaked out, because I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, we're talking about like 30 hours later, I haven't heard from her, That's a long time. And let's see. What the hell happened up there? I don't even know what that is on the screen. Did anybody hear what I said? If we get up to 500 tonight, I'll donate to Rain. All right. That 500 with it's 30% loss, but it's worth it, right? Anyways, we got the so looking on here, this is where her phone last pinged with just sort of like nothing, right? So I'm looking around, I'm like, Jesus, I mean, did somebody steal her phone and that's where it was on the ground? It's just, I don't know, I'm just not used to this. And so it's on the ground, and then I was just really trying to get a hold of the people she's with, the relatives, and they didn't answer anything. Of course, it's really late at night when I first tried to call, it wasn't. But in the morning when I woke up at 7, it's like 10 there. And nobody was answering. And then I came up with the idea of checking her bank. Hey, thanks, Lorraine Hale. So we have this card that she's using. And then I called the bank and I said, hey, and my name happened to be on the account, thank God, And so then we got that was used at a restaurant at 5:49 or 5:39, and then also at an Ace Hardware at 5:39, and then I mean that sounded not nefarious because it wasn't huge amounts. And so I started plotting everything out with pins, I was literally already doing it. Look at 5:39 there, and then there at Marco's Grill at 5:39. And when people always say, Gray, if I ever go missing, I want you to start looking around. But see, that's what I was doing. I started putting all the plotting it all out, and then I'm just sitting around. I don't know, it was just freaky. And then finally one of the relatives said, oh yeah, she's in the hotel room. She didn't have the charger, the 220 converter, and she didn't know how to connect to the internet. Jesus. You're going to make me have a freaking, and then I also had her bank, anytime she used the card, it would send me a notification you know, anyways, it was just like, ah. But here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, the way that I felt when she was missing is exactly how missing persons' parents feel forever. I mean, it's just, I can't imagine living like that. Because I'm just sitting there just going, oh, God, what the hell happened? You know, and then I started thinking about the times where she's having a bad dream and going, oh, and I have to wake her up. And I was thinking, man, what if she's making that same, like somebody's doing something and she's making that sound, you know? I don't know, it's just weird, all the stuff that goes through your head, you know? I mean, it was literally, and so I was even supposed to be on court TV, and I said, you guys, I can't be on, I gotta try to figure out where the hell she is. So it wasn't until 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock my time where I finally got answers. Oh yeah, we're just, and she was like, oh, Gray, you care. I don't need the adulation and, hey, I'm glad you care. What I need is for you to make sure that you are able to check in when you're on in a crazy trip like that. You know? Anyways, at least it all worked out. Man, it's wild way over there, you know, just. I guess it's closer if you go, well, not even really that much closer. Should be way up here. Yeah, such a weird flight, you know. Yeah, all the way over here. You kind of come around. Usually, like, you take off from San Francisco and you just kind of go all the way, 14-hour flight. Unbelievable. Yeah, it is a terrible feeling. I mean, I had that feeling for hours and hours and hours, just wondering, like, God, did something happen to her? Did somebody over there want to take her card? Or, like, she comes over and, look like she had money and she's in this place where people don't have money. And yeah, it's kind of weird. Creepy. But, man, I was just thinking about how that must be for other people when they have somebody missing. You have that same feeling, and you don't get answers, and then the next day you don't get answers, and then 20 years later, feeling exactly the same, you got no answers. You always have, oh God, man, you can just see it. It's crazy. That should make everybody have a lot of empathy for those people. And like in the Sebastian Rogers case, the mother, I think that's how she feels. I can just see it on her face. She feels like that. She's just like, what the hell's happening? I can see it on her face. Now, the stepdad, I don't know what kind of bond they had or anything, but I'm sure it's not quite the same if, in that situation. Now, some stepdads do get really close, but I could see it being more likely than an actual parent to maybe not have the same sort of overwhelming feeling where you're just freaking out. Yep. Well, thanks, Jessica Schubach. So if you're just getting here, what we have going on tonight, the two cases we're going to be covering are, violence against women. So if we get up to 500, I'll be sending 500 into RAIN, which is for violence against women. So we currently are sitting at 5820, so we have a long ways to go. But if you're out there, and so even if YouTube takes the 30%, all we have to do is get to 500, and that's how much I'll be sending in, taking a loss. Okay? So it's up to you guys. It's up to you. I can't make it grow on trees, as it were. And don't get all started at once, all right? I work at a theme park here, and the amount of people who have thousands in cash on them, and yeah. Let's see. I always like that when I put out a challenge and it just is a bust right out of the gate. Hey, thanks, Lisa Valenzuela. Like I completely like, oh yeah, forget it. Hey, look at that. Cheryl gifted 1 membership to Lorraine Halley, right? I might have said Hale before. I was thinking that looks more like Halle Berry's name. So which one do we start off with? I think we should start off with the what do you call it? The carjacking. All right. So one of the freaks out there sent me a link, and I just went through it and listened to the press conference and mapped out every single thing that he was saying, and it's a pretty crazy case. Absolutely nuts, really. And the hijacking itself is caught on camera, if you can believe that. Thank you, your gypsy. Hey, thanks, Diane LS. I didn't realize that. Thank you for filling us all in. I mean, if you can't help out, that's great, but don't try to, you know, make everybody else not. I can tell by your comment that's kind of what your goal was there. Thank you, wise child. Yeah. I don't know. It was really freaky, Jenny B, though, I got to tell you. I mean, just for... And then, you know, I was trying to think logically, because when I woke up in the morning, I know it's 10, so I have to wait like 9 hours before anybody might even wake up. But one of them actually woke up at 4 to message me back their time, which was 1 or 2 my time. I can't remember. Anyways, thanks, wise child. Very cool, very cool. Yeah, well, there's no reason for you to say it, though, Diane. That's the reality. Everybody knows that, okay? But it sort of dampens the ability. Right. So it's just something you don't need to say. It's like when some people say, wow, you know, I'd like to help, but I can't. You know, there's no reason to say it. I've said it a million times. If you can't afford to help support the channel, then just hit the like button. And if you're a membership, you know, but if you can't do any extra or anything like that, then don't worry about it. Okay, I just try to raise the funds on every single show because I know all the great stuff that we do with a large portion of the income from the channel every single month. Now, there's people out there that don't like it, you know, the trolls out there on various social media platforms who just trash and trash every second they get, like it's a grifty. And it's not that at all, you guys. If I was a grifter, I wouldn't have kept or given away 200,000. Okay, I mean, why wouldn't I keep 100 of that and just give 100 and it would still look good? It's ridiculous, right? So I don't understand. I mean, I just get sick of it, you guys. I really do. I don't want to listen to it. I know what my mind is and what my goal is and what I'm doing. And if you don't want to be part of it, then don't be part of it. But why don't you take your time and go over to these other channels who make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, way more than I do, and they give nothing. Okay, talk to them about it, because I actually give part of my ad revenue away too, and that's all me. That has nothing to do with anybody paying anything or anything. All right, so screw you. So anyways, you guys want to, let's listen to this press conference, and as we're listening to the press conference, I'll kind of keep cutting back to the map. Which case is this one? I'm gonna have to turn that one off. There's so many cases in Florida, it's crazy. Thank you, Lasso Lacey and 1L Michelle. Yeah, you just typed that in a minute ago, MK. You already typed that in. All right, so here we go. Here we go.
Thank you for your patience and thank you for getting as much information out as you possibly could last night. What we are now investigating is a homicide, and what I would like to do is to talk you through the entire timeline, the circumstances, and the details. As you can see on the screen, Katherine Aguasvivas was a U.S. citizen. She had lived in the United States for the past 5 years. She had established U.S. citizenship. Her home country was the Dominican Republic. She and her husband were associated.
Yeah, I looked her up, and she lives right here. So there's another address, but it's from an earlier time. And so my blue map route here is different now because that's where I originally had it. But I think this is it right here. It has 2023, and it's right there. So this is where she lives. She's the person in the thumbnail. So in these apartments right there.
Husband is still associated with 2 businesses in South Florida. Her residency is in Homestead, and the businesses are a barbershop and a beauty salon. She left South Florida yesterday, driving the white Dodge Durango that we put out with the video that we had yesterday. We think that she left South Florida just after noon.
Okay, let me, I'll fast forward it. Let's see, we're at 1:13. Let me go to the, here's the video at the end, watch. It's crazy, look at this crap.
5:30 in the afternoon. I think our first unit was 6 or 7 minutes after that, making
I
contact
just have it at
with
the
them
end.
at that location. Okay.
Don't worry about it, MK. Let us just go through the case, all right? So look, this guy has a machine gun here. I think this might be her husband, to be honest with you, or somebody connected to the husband after listening to the press conference. But look at it. He gets in there, and then he takes off. So we'll see it again at the end, but that's what's going on. Somebody actually filmed it. I'd be freaked out. Wouldn't you be freaked out to be the car behind that car? Man.
Thank you for your patience, and thank you for getting as much information out as you possibly could last night. Today, the vehicle was seen traveling northbound in Jupiter, and she came into Seminole County through downtown Orlando in I-4. 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when she is arriving here. She stops at a Seminole County gas station. It was a Shell gas station located just south of 436 and 1792. She pulls in there, pumps gas, stays there for approximately 8 minutes. She travels from that location heading northbound on 1792 into Seminole County, and then ultimately gets into Castleberry and turns down Button Road and weaves through the back streets on East Lake through Winter Springs. About a half a mile before the intersection of East Lake Drive and Tuscaloosa Road, and that's the location of the intersection that the video was released on. About a half a mile or so prior to that intersection, she started to notice that the green Acura was behind her, and the Acura was actually ramming into her back bumper at that time.
Now let us just go through the case.
At that time,
MK,
she picked
please,
up the phone and called her husband, told her husband that she was being rammed, that there was somebody there that was following her. The husband provided the advice to don't stop anywhere. There are no known...
See, the thing is this is probably what really happened. Is she's driving, she sees what she probably believes might be her husband driving behind, and calls him. Or maybe even if it was somebody else and her husband's somewhere else, why wouldn't you say, call 911 quick, call 911? You know, why wouldn't you say that right away? You know, that would be the first thing that you would tell somebody to do. But it turns out that none of them called 911. That's weird. Well, of course it's targeted. That's why I think it's related to the husband. And I think they probably think that too, based on some of the wording they use.
Reports to the sheriff's office or policing authorities made by either Katherine or the husband that we're aware of. Vehicle stops at the intersection, as you can see from the video that we released last.
It's obvious that it's targeting if somebody's ramming you from behind and there's multiple other cars around.
Last night, the Dodge Durango is at the first position at the intersection, has the light. The only thing that's stopping her is the light that's there. The green Acura is directly behind, and although we don't have visual evidence so far proving, we suspect that one of the occupants of the green Acura gets out of the Acura wearing a black hoodie, wearing a ski type of mask or a ninja mask as we've called it, carrying what appears to be consistent with a automatic handgun, consistent with a 10mm handgun, which will come into play a little bit later in my news conference. Told her husband that she was being rammed, that there was somebody there that was following her. The husband provided the advice to don't stop anywhere. There are no known reports to the sheriff's office or policing authorities made by either Katherine or the husband that we're aware of. Vehicle stops at the intersection, as you can see from the video that we released last night. The Dodge Durango is at the first position at the intersection, has the light. The only thing that's stopping her is the light that's there. The green Acura is directly behind, and although we don't have visual evidence so far proving, we suspect that one of the occupants of the green Acura gets out of the Acura wearing a black hoodie, wearing a ski type of mask or a ninja mask as we've called it, carrying what appears to be consistent with a automatic handgun, consistent with a 10mm handgun, which will come into play a little bit later in my news conference. Points directly at the driver, Katherine, tells her, we suspect, to unlock the door, which she does. He jumps in the rear passenger seat behind the driver, and she immediately makes a U-turn. This is witnessed by the driver that's behind the vehicle.
She goes
Another
like this.
occupant inside the vehicle is the person that is filming from their cell phone the video images that we have and that we've released of the incident. She makes a U-turn at that intersection, probably heading, speculation here, but probably heading in a direction where the suspect does not want them to go, and we suspect that he orders her to turn around again and reapproach the intersection of East Lake and Tuscaloosa Road. At that intersection, they turn south, and they're heading southbound, nearly rush hour traffic here, southbound on Tuscaloosa Road towards the Seminole-Orange County line, all the way down to Aloma. When they get to Aloma, they make a left. They go all the way across all lanes of traffic so they can get on 417 southbound. At this time, we suspect that Katherine is still driving under the armed dictatorship of the suspect. Here's where you're going to go, here's where you're going to drive. They drive southbound on 417, likely getting off at the Narcoossee Road exit. They travel the back roads of Narcoossee, ultimately turning off onto Boggy Creek Road into Osceola County, where there is a newer construction area that was set off in a little bit of a distance, but not so far away that eyewitnesses could not report hearing gunshots and ultimately the smoke of a fire that was set ablaze, the vehicle that was set ablaze. By the time authorities with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office arrived there was so much damage to the vehicle, you could not positively identify the vehicle but they also discovered that one person was deceased and found in that vehicle.
I got
Now,
to
it's important intersection of East Lake and Tuscaloosa Road.
I got to find something.
At that intersection, they turn south, and they're heading southbound, nearly rush hour traffic
what
here.
happened to that place? I had it mapped
Southbound
out.
on Tuscaloosa Road towards the Seminole-Orange County line, all the way down to Aloma. When they get to Aloma, they make a left. They go all the way across all lanes of traffic so they can get on 417 southbound. At this time, we suspect that Katherine is still driving under the armed dictatorship of the suspect. Here's where you're going to go. Here's where you're going to drive. They drive southbound on 417, likely getting off at the Narcoossee Road.
Okay, Narcoossee. It's way down there, I know. Narcoossee. Maybe it's way down and I forgot that it was way down there. Oh, so it is way down here, yeah. So, oh yeah, so it's way down here. It made it, so like 417. Okay, so I do have it mapped out. Just like this, way down, 417. Can't really see the, I got something over the screen, so if you guys are helping reach the goal, I can't see it. I mean, it's way down. There it is, right there. I guess I got to keep going. Ding, 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 ding. And down and around. And then here's that exit right there. So I must have gone over here. Oh yeah, and then it's like, then I think it drove sort of in the back roads over here a little bit, and then somehow kind of came up around, and it makes its way to Boggy Creek Road. So somewhere right in this area is where it all ended. Oh, and the answer is no, there was absolutely zero. Jesus. You guys, man, I tell you. Forget it. Let's see, so right there.
Exit. They travel the back roads of Narcoossee, ultimately turning off onto Boggy Creek Road into Osceola County, where there was a newer construction area that was set off in a little bit of a distance, but not so far away that eyewitnesses could not report hearing gunshots and ultimately the smoke of a fire that was set ablaze, the vehicle that was set ablaze. By the time authorities with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office arrived there,
Thanks,
there was so much damage to the vehicle, you could not positively identify the vehicle, but they also discovered that one person was deceased and found in that vehicle. Now, it's important part here because we believe that to be the vehicle and the decedent to be Katherine, but we have to positively confirm that through the scientific method of DNA examinations and dental records. But from all accounts of looking at the scene, it looks like the vehicle and is consistent to everything that we've seen so far.
I was just thinking kind of in here.
In addition to that, there was 12 shell casings there of 10mm rounds and one projectile that was located on the ground at that location.
Thanks, one Elma Shell. And
circumstances leading up. Follow-up investigation. The initial report that was provided to us was Katherine was traveling to Central Florida to visit with family members. We know of no family members that are living in Central Florida. The time that she was in Seminole County was less than an hour, and we have no knowledge of her or the suspect, quite frankly, living, doing business, or being in Seminole County prior
So
to
that was
this
a big
incident.
look at. Listen.
Members that are living in Central Florida. The time that she was in Seminole County was less than an hour, and we have no knowledge of her or the suspect, quite frankly, living, doing business, or being in Seminole County.
Right, the suspect. So do they have a suspect? Because why would you even say that you don't know if the suspect lived in the, to me it seems like the suspect is somebody that they already know is the suspect. The same person who said that, she went on a trip to visit relatives that don't exist, that he already explained, that don't exist in the area. He already said that. So, yeah, I think that's where it's sort of leading here. You can read between the lines. Thanks, Cheryl and Alley Cake.
Prior
It's going to be hard to get to the goal.
to this incident. The timeline between approximately 5:30 in the afternoon yesterday, when we got the call for service of what appeared to be a carjacking, robbery, kidnapping, we responded to the scene as we typically do, as an urgent type of response just moments later, and have been working the investigation ever since that point in time. It's about 1 hour and 45 minutes from the video that was released at that intersection of East Lake Drive and Tuscaloosa Road. An hour and 45 minutes later is when the call for service of the vehicle on fire and the gunshots in Osceola County. Anybody who is familiar with the area, during rush hour, it is probably nearly an hour driving time between this location and that location.
25 miles.
We suspect it was a direct route between here, going down Tuscaloosa Road, getting on ultimately 417, heading southbound, and going right to that location to commit this murder and homicide. We do feel that the occupants of the green Acura, both the driver and at least one other person that got out of the car and entered into the Durango, knew exactly who they were following. We are, again, still putting together to try to explain a motive. There's no criminal history here for either Katherine or her husband in the United States. There's no clear indicator why somebody would do this, why would they target them. But we do feel and believe, because she was being followed, they were watching that.
Thanks, Ginger
she
Cheese.
called her husband. The husband said, "Don't leave the car." No reports to law enforcement that this was not a random act of violence, that the perpetrators knew exactly who they were going after, why they were going after them, is something that is a part of our ongoing, continuing investigation at this time. We've spoken to her.
What do you mean? What do you mean? How is the video with the guy with the machine gun related? It's the whole case. What are you talking about? Yeah, the guy hijacked the vehicle, got in the vehicle. She's the one driving, and eventually he took her somewhere, shot her, and burned the car up. Man, I've never seen a question like that.
Husband, family members, and that process will continue on. The green Acura is obviously a vehicle that we're incredibly concerned about right now. We've released that last night, and we're releasing it again today. So if anybody saw the Durango or the green Acura yesterday afternoon, witnessed any of this, that now in the aftermath is kind of putting some pieces together on something that you witnessed, we want to encourage you to contact the Seminole County Sheriff's Office or Crime Line, where you can be eligible for a financial reward and can remain anonymous. We're specifically looking for any bit of information that you saw during this entire encounter, or if you recognize this vehicle that had a partial obstruction to the tag. We don't think the obstruction to the tag was intentional. There was some plastic covering that was on the license plate. The plastic covering just had become wore out, and it was difficult to.
And here's the video again. This is on WESH2.
Right now in Seminole County.
So you can see it right. It's right at that intersection we were at. There it is right here. Wow.
Green sedan, an Acura. Yeah. He walks up to the woman who's in the white Dodge Durango truck.
So the green vehicle here, I guess they wouldn't be scared if they were in that one, because, but there has to be somebody that stays in this vehicle to drive it away.
See there, he flashes his gun, then he gets into the
Unless they
back
just
seat.
left it there.
Both the truck and that green
Okay.
Acura, they make a U-turn and
So
they
both
leave
of
the
them.
area. Deputies say that woman is 31-year-old Catherine Alta Gracia Guerrero de Aguasvivas of Homestead, which is just
And that's what it said on the back, for sale, 786, 352.
and go to give them a call.
Anyways.
Capture the tag identifiers in the video. Again, any information about this particular tag is going to be incredibly important to our ongoing investigation. The next steps are to continue to work this with our detectives and our investigators. We are working with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office and other stakeholders in this process to put the pieces together. We do believe that that vehicle and Katherine are the homicide victim in that location down in Osceola County. And as soon as we get some more information, we'll be happy to.
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious. The green car was following the white car. They got out of the green car with the machine gun and went into the car in front of it and held her at gunpoint and then drove her somewhere. And then they ended up shooting her and burning the car. Okay?
Share that with you. With that, I'll open for questions, but before I do, please continue to understand. I'll answer whatever I can, but this is a fluid, ongoing investigation that's 19 hours from start to finish right now. And again, with that, I'll open.
Start to finish.
The vehicle, the green vehicle.
What's the
Had it been
finish?
following her the whole time, do we know, or at just one point they found her in Seminole County? Was there an air tag on her vehicle? Do we know anything about
Yeah.
that?
No knowledge of AirTag or any tracking device, but we simply don't know at this time. We don't know where the green
I
Acura
think it's
picked
the
up her
husband.
vehicle. We do believe it's probably
I think it could be drug related. I mean, that was my first initial thought before I heard the wording that this sheriff was using that seemed to implicate her husband in some way by implying different things.
somewhere in the Central Florida area, but there are pieces of evidence that still need to be evaluated to see if we can identify where the green Acura started to trail. We do know that in Castleberry, coming down East Lake, they were there already a half a mile prior to that intersection. He was already ramming the back of the car.
Mm-hmm.
So with certainty, we can only say at that point. We just don't know where they started following or when she actually noticed at the time. She did notice and
So
call
right
her
here
husband.
she was being rammed.
But that was just moments before
U-turn, turn
the
around,
intersection
turn.
and what we witnessed on the video.
Sheriff, do any of your counterparts in South Florida help you open any light to this, whether or not they were having any kind of a hassle or harassment or dispute down there that might have spilled over up here?
Our team is on the way down to South Florida now. At this point in time, there is no explanation why somebody would target her, why she would be followed like that. Of course, that's a part of the ongoing
I mean, she's like 200 miles from her house.
investigation that not only our detectives are going down there personally to meet with family and friends, but working with counterparts. But again, there is no prior reports, no knowledge of criminal history or activity.
Wouldn't it be interesting if she was going there to meet somebody? Like another guy? And that's what this is all about? I could see that. Like they're actually separating and she's driving up there to see somebody and he tracks her down, or who knows how it all went down, but you'd have to have a second person in that. One got in her car and one was driving the green vehicle.
It just really is unknown at this time.
You said you didn't know if she had any.
Yeah, like if you look at this, just this line right here, it's way more than 200, I think. It's 278. I mean, it's almost basically 300 miles.
You can't document she had any family here. Did her husband know? That she
All right, so if you're getting here late tonight, we are trying to get up to $500 so that I can send $500 to RAIN tonight, which is Violence Against Women. All right? So we're just kind of really stuck on a lull right now where it's just kind of, I don't know. But I'm taking a loss because YouTube takes 30% of all super chats. So even if you get to 500, I'm sending in 500, which is really me losing 150. All right. So if you guys are out there and you're able to help support the channel, I guess in this case it's just going right to Rain. All right.
Who's traveling to Central Florida?
Well, he was the one that provided the information that it was likely that she was coming up here to visit family.
We don't know,
but again,
yes,
he
Carol.
is somebody that we continue to talk.
She called her husband apparently, you know, but how do we know that that's really what was said on the phone call? She could have been like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you following me? Here's what's going to matter is like, where was his phone pinging from when that phone call was made? If he's literally in the car behind her, he's screwed. But also, why didn't he say, oh, you're being rammed? Call the cops. But and also, don't stop your vehicle until the cops show up. And neither her nor him called the police. That just doesn't happen in a situation like that.
With that is helpful to us in our investigation. Any information that he has, but the report that we had received through those intimate contacts of her that she was here to visit family.
It sounds like the husband knew more than what he was letting on because he told her not to stop. Is that your opinion as well?
You know, I'm not going to speculate. You know, anytime something like this happens, we always encourage 911 is like an absolute. You want authorities, you want somebody there. But I can't explain why this would occur a half a mile before the intersection, that she would call her husband would say, don't stop. I could see somebody saying, don't stop, you know, but to not.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Like, why were you already ramming her car a half mile before the intersection? She could have got right on the phone and just been like, hey, I'm being followed. Wouldn't you just wait until you're right when you get to an intersection, it's a red light, and just jump out of the car and ambush the person? So that seems like somebody that's just really angry at her, you know? Something like that. I don't know. It's really bizarre. It makes no sense at all to sit there and start ramming somebody in broad daylight where all the other people can see, etc. Doesn't make any sense. So it sounds like somebody really angry. But you would have to have a second person with you. I'm really angry. Can you come too? Just, I don't know, man. This is kind of a weird one again. It seems like lately we've just had a bunch of just crazy cases. Thank you, Judy Grandstrand, for gifting 5 memberships. And Carol Z.
Not call 911. Is
We're at
something
147 right now.
that again, I don't know the answer to that. If it was me, I'm going to call 911, or I'm going to encourage my family and friends to call 911. That did not happen in this case.
Sheriff, the vehicle that she's driving, is it in fact her or her family's vehicle? And the reason
Let me go back to really.
But I can't.
It sounds like the husband knew more than what he was letting on
Okay, so he said it sounds like the husband knew more than what he's letting on.
because he told her not to stop.
And also he said that she was going there to visit family. And there isn't family there. So why did he say that? Is that like because she's going to go meet some guy there and he throws up family? I mean, it seems weird. It's almost as if he knew why she was going there but lied about why she was going there. And then maybe then you can bring in the drug angle that he knows. But then why wouldn't... God. So if let's say she's transporting drugs, I guess. That's what I was thinking about earlier. Like she's transporting drugs a long distance. And, you know, he knows exactly what she's doing. So, of course, he's going to say she went up there to visit relatives. But she's also not going to have her call the cops because the cops would find the drugs in the vehicle, right? So neither of them are going to call the cops. That explains that. And so the other one would be if there's some problem between them. But doesn't it make a little, almost more sense, though, that somebody's tracking them down? Like somebody knew that where she was going. I mean, they caught up with her 280 miles from home, though. Were they just waiting for her to show up in town?
Is that your
You know, I'm not going to speculate. You know, anytime something like this happens, we always encourage 911 is like an absolute. You want authorities, you want somebody there.
That's true, chicken wing.
But
That's
I
true.
can't explain
Law and
why
order matters.
this would occur a half a mile before the intersection.
Yeah, see?
That she would call her husband. Her husband would say, "Don't stop." I could see somebody saying,
Yeah, so that makes sense. This whole story makes sense if she's actually transporting drugs in the truck, doesn't it? Every single element of the story. She's driving the drugs, then, but somebody knew about it and it was dangerous. And her husband knows that, so neither of them are going to call the police. He probably even told her. He's like, I'm being rammed, and he said, "You don't stop. And listen, don't call the cops because they're going to find that and we'll be arrested. All right, so just keep going." And she didn't go, and then she was, guy got into her car, they did a U-turn, etc. That makes the most sense of any other story. I mean, it's even if because why would there be two people if he's the one that's angry? Like, she's cheating on him, right? Why would there be two people in the car? Wouldn't the other person be like, "Hey, I'm not part of this. I don't have any, I don't have a dog in this fight." And then it's also a machine gun. That's usually something. I mean, I think it didn't seem like. At first, I was thinking drugs, and I was thinking the way he's talking. It seems like they think the husband. They're kind of implicating him in some way. However, I think the husband might just have the knowledge because of what they're doing. Yeah.
Don't stop, but to not call 911 is something that again, I don't know the answer to that. Sure. If it was me, I'm going to call 911, or I'm going to encourage my family and friends to call 911. That did not happen in this case.
Sheriff, the vehicle that she's driving isn't in fact her or her family's vehicle, and the reason I asked that, the phone number that's listed on the back of that car does not go to either her or her husband, and I'm just trying to understand the connection between the phone number that says that vehicle is for sale, which is a South Florida number, and if you have any details on that.
Yeah, I don't know who the registered owner of the vehicle is. We do believe it to be somebody that is in her family or connected to her. We don't feel that she's in some strange vehicle that she's never seen driving before. We think that the vehicle is...
Let's see, hold on a second.
Right now in Seminole County.
Give them a call.
Say no to lols, freaks. Say no to lols. Okay. Well, yeah, it does. The first name is her name. The guy didn't know what the hell he was talking about. It's Kay Guerrero. That's what her name is. It's part of the name. Hey, thanks, Amy Justice League. Yeah, so the guy that was just talking to the officer was incorrect. As a matter of fact, you know what the names are for the potential owner of that phone number? Miguel Aguasvivas, which is her husband, and Kay Guerrero, which is her. Okay, so whatever that guy was that just talked, the reporter that talked to the sheriff in there, didn't do it right. He's incorrect. I mean, I could show you on the screen, as a matter of fact. Look, Kay Guerrero, Miguel, and then right here, Miguel Angel Aguasvivas. Her last name also is Aguasvivas, but she's also Kay Guerrero as well. And we can go back to the beginning. Let's see, we're at we're at 1512. Let me go back to the very beginning. Say that? Guerrero. Kay Guerrero, and then also Aguasvivas. So, can I get a boom? We outdid the reporter, for God's sakes. Thank you, Amy's Justice League. We're at 172 right now, you guys. 172.
critical information of a very dangerous and frightening situation. You think about it for a moment. It wasn't that long ago where we did not have cameras on our cell phones, and we always promote, if you see something, say something. That's exactly what happened here. Not only happened here to record this incident, which gives us a great glimpse of what happened moments before this murder occurred, but also the people down in Osceola County that hear these gunshots, see the smoke from a vehicle. I mean, they call pretty quickly. You think about 2 citizen reports in an hour and 45 minutes and 2 different...
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking maybe a fair, because the husband's involved somehow, but I believe the husband's involved, just based on the wording that the sheriff's using. But I think the drug angle makes more sense. And they didn't want to call the police, because police would have found the drugs in the vehicle while she was driving it, leading to their arrest. And that's why he just said, just keep driving, just keep driving. But man, they pull up and they actually have, submachine guns.
Counties, 3 counties away from each other.
Machine
So
guns.
when you watch this, it is incredibly frightening to watch the boldness of this suspect, this perpetrator, getting out of the car, wearing a hood, carrying a weapon in broad daylight,
just broad daylight.
Getting in the vehicle. It again, that is why we encourage somebody who knows about the occupants of this vehicle, knows where this vehicle is at. We're encouraging you to contact us. Clearly, they should be viewed as being armed and dangerous. Don't confront them yourself. Contact authorities.
Sounds like the perpetrator
Thanks, Simply Me.
with the Osceola County.
Simply Me.
I suspect that where they told her to go
182.
is somewhere where they've been before. They seemed very familiar with that area down there. I don't think that this is randomly, hey, pull off the road. I think that now again, we don't know, but I think that as soon as she made that U-turn, she was told quickly, hey, go back, this isn't the way we want to go, and they had that plan out.
That's why they went.
And knew exactly where they were going. It was on the way.
Did you speak with a woman who say that she saw the car that she was driving in an erratic way? You know something about it?
I would not be surprised. I haven't heard. I mean,
Yeah, except they must have had her get into a different lane, because she would have been in. So her original lane was this one over here, and obviously I don't know if she was trying to get away or something, but she turned, and then they go, oh no, and then they made her turn around. But when she came back out, I'm just guessing this is where she turned around. And then I don't know, Gray, I think she took a left. I don't care what you think, okay? Because it's just luck, all right? Anyways, they turned around, went this way. And then obviously when it came up this time, it got in the right-hand lane because it turned to the right. So the camera probably could still pick that up.
I would encourage you to have her contact us. That may be helpful as far as the location's at. But I suspect that these killers are trying to get away from the police. So that's why at that time, if they're speeding down 417, if they're speeding down another roadway, we checked the databases and there was no report of aggressive drivers. There was no report of a suspicious vehicle that came into our call center. But again, if somebody saw that, that's critical information that we want, not only what they saw, but exactly when and where they saw it.
You were saying that she was in Seminole County to see family, but you couldn't find anything. Is there was she just driving around the county for an hour?
Well,
you were saying that she was here, or
yeah.
Is there a destination?
Well, let me be real specific. We were told she was here visiting family.
Right. It's not
we were
true.
not able to confirm that she has any family member here at all. So we were told that she was here visiting family. We have no knowledge of her ever being in Seminole County whatsoever. We knew that she...
But see, that's why the whole drug thing makes sense. So the husband's going to say, oh, yeah, she was up there to visit family. Yep, there's nothing else, nothing to see here. And the burning of the vehicle, they probably, whoever it was, likely would have taken the drugs and then burned the vehicle because they were in the vehicle as well. It just makes way more sense now, given if you put it all together. That way, that's why they both of them didn't call 911, and he said that she was there to visit family. If it was just an innocent story, he'd be saying the reality and the truth.
She left South Florida around noon. It's very unlikely that she was coming here to stay. 1, 2 o'clock, she's coming northbound. Like 2 o'clock, she's in Jupiter. She comes I-4 route, seen in downtown Orlando, ultimately gets off. So where she was going, we absolutely have no idea where she was going.
I know there's a lot of things here that are unclear, but so
This is where I fixed the audio level of the questions.
I want to make sure that I understand properly. Her husband says she was coming here to see family, yet provided no names of those family members that you can document.
Correct.
I tried to.
Husband says she's going to Central Florida to visit family. Did not provide names of the family members, and our research through investigative tools can find no family members that are here. So we don't know who he was referring to when he says family. It could be friends that they call family, but we don't know of any biological family that's here in Central Florida that she was on her way to. Quite frankly, we don't know why she was here or how long she was planning to stay here.
So as far as it was obscured because of the plastic or whatever, did any of the toll plazas or license plate readers throughout the counties, did they pick up what the license plate was? Has that led it to any clues?
That's part of the investigation that I am not going to release right now. We want to call upon the public's assistance that if you know the operator of the vehicle, as you can imagine, Jeff, we're following up on that right now. Our team is kind of looking at that, gathering as much information. I don't want to be dishonest, and I don't want to disclose investigative techniques and exactly where we are. So that's something that we're working with.
But fundamentally, this green car and whoever was in it could be anyone.
Correct. And that's why we're calling on the public's assistance right now as we work the investigative end with technology and police work. We hope, once again, citizens who've witnessed bizarre and suspicious behavior will step up like they have with the reporting of the initial incident and reporting of the murder scene, which we believe to be the murder scene down in Osceola County. We're working the case because we don't know. Somewhere between here and there, she was alive and likely deceased down there at their location. I want to underscore once again.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at all the relatives of both of them. Almost all of them live way down in southern Miami. I mean, they all do. There isn't anybody up near Orlando.
I want to give you the most timely information as we possibly can. We need DNA and dental records to confirm that that's her. We need physical evidence to say that that's absolutely 100% the vehicle. But I would have to be pretty confident right now to come out and tell you this, that this is likely the vehicle and this is likely who it is. Once we get some additional details, again, there's a lot of unknowns, a lot of things that will leave people scratching your head, and I think the biggest is why. Because this wasn't just a random incident. They're ramming the car half a mile before that intersection. They get in the car. Why did she and her husband not call 911? I don't know. Why did she stop at the red light? I mean, there's a lot of things that we'll absolutely never know. But this is a tragic incident, nevertheless.
Yeah, why did she stop
horrible,
at the red
horrible,
light?
frightening
You would just
situation.
try to jump into the traffic.
If you know the whereabouts of the vehicle or know who the drivers or the occupants were, please call us.
So as far as your gut goes, and as far as like a bigger picture of this, because carjackings happen, obviously aside from this incident, if you're stopped at a red light and somebody taps on your window and they've got a gun in their hand, what, as a law enforcement expert, are the best practices there? Do you gun it? Do you try and get away? Do you just say, take the car?
Yeah. Well, I think that goes back to fight or flight or instinct and being prepared to the best ability that you possibly can. For some, they're going to arm themselves with a firearm and they're going to respond in a likely type of response, right? They're going to exercise their right to carry arms. For others, they're going to flee the area, hit the gas, regardless if there's a traffic signal there, and call 911, do something. I think that there are so many factors and circumstances. I think that the main message is...
Yeah, it's almost like she thought it was the husband. Like, hey, yeah. And then he gets out, and that's why she stops at the light. She didn't, like, try to get away. She let the person come there. So then so that's why it's kind of weird, right? It's like the drug angle does make the most sense, like somebody said up above. But you sort of wonder if, I don't know, is there some other thing going on here too? I mean, why did the person ram her way before, then she stops to let the person get out and come talk to her? It's weird. Thanks, Michelle H.
Is be aware of your
181
surroundings
right now.
constantly
181.
and respond and react and do something to the best of your ability and what you feel most comfortable with. I mean, if he walks up to the vehicle like that, did she see him coming up? I mean, we don't know. And by the time that you have a gun in your face, it's really almost too late to do anything, right? So again, we don't know, but I know that you always have to constantly think, and I think that this story right here and the stories that we see across the country make us all go back and say, if something like this happened to me, what would I do and how would I respond? I know I do it every time I see these
people
tragedies.
saw it.
Sheriff, the body that you found in the vehicle, just two quick questions. A, was it in the driver's seat? Is that where the body was found? And then two, has other jurisdictions had...
How would the husband know that if she called him to say that she was being rammed? Why would the husband wouldn't be saying that? Then they would know he was the guy in the car. Come on, monogamous apostate. Think through it a little bit. Come on, that's...
Similar cases like this, particularly down in South Florida, are they part of this investigation?
There's no link to any other investigation that we're aware of at this time. It'd be early in our investigation to kind of make that nexus to what's going on there. I'm not saying it's impossible. We just don't have that connection yet.
So her not going through the light might be the drug angle, but if you're being chased by somebody, are you going to let them get out of their vehicle? Once you see the person getting out of their car, wouldn't you just gun it? And then they would have to actually stop for a moment to get the guy back in the car. You could have just easily got away at that point.
I don't know where inside the vehicle the body was located. I mean, that was a pretty damaged crime scene, right? If it's damaged to the point where you can't even tell if it's the Dodge Durango or not. So I don't know exactly where the body was positioned at that scene.
Sure. When you talk about the timeline and the events and they got off on your cruising road, do you believe that that's the vehicle because, and I know we talked about the toll plazas and stuff, but we all know they take camera pictures. Do you see her in the car driving? Is that why you're so sure that the timeline of events between when she got off there and the fire call, is that why you're making that
it takes a little bit more time. I mean, there are clearly technology license plate readers. I mean, we used to not talk about it, but there's license plate readers everywhere. Some of this information is picked up from license plate readers that gives timely feedback into various sources of locations. It takes a little bit more time to get the video evidence from the toll and the toll plazas and all that, and that's something that we're working on now. So where she was at, obviously if we had the transponder, it would be a little bit easier.
I think it's almost for certain that she had something. I mean, so it's either somebody was really angry with her specifically, or she had something that they wanted. They rammed her a few times. They seemed really determined to get whatever they were getting. Was it just her though? I don't know. The drug angle makes sense though, doesn't it? Explains behavior. It is 1L, Michelle, and fortunately nobody's tonight's one of those nights where people aren't feeling too into helping out them. Because this is one of those nights where every single dollar that you guys send in is going to Rain, not where it helps support my channel or anything. This isn't doing that. So back to this.
Here, but because of that fire, all of that stuff is just absolutely gone. So. Oh, I listen, any piece of evidence, I hope that cameras and technology and look, we live in a time where we're being recorded constantly around us. So, but that's one of the things that we'll obviously look at to see if we can get that camera to see if she's still in the driver's seat, to see if we can see him in the back seat. I mean, we're gonna follow up on all of that, but some of that takes court order, and then you got other people to kind of respond back to it. But I tell you, that's towards the top of our list, clearly.
Is the husband working on the investigation? Because this is a violent case, right? It's a lot of stuff that didn't fix. So what he say about this case?
Yeah. So So the husband is working with us. He's not working on the investigation. We don't involve family members doing that. He's providing us as much information as he possibly can, and that's one of the sources that we'll continue to talk to as we try to put the pieces of the puzzle together and find out what goes on. But at this point, it's you can imagine if you get word of a spouse, a family member, just 19 hours ago, kind of going through this thing, or even less than that. But he is working with us, and he's cooperating with our detectives and investigators.
How many suspects are the police looking for?
Well, it's hard because when you look at the video, you don't know how many people are inside that green Acura, right? You can conclude that there's at least two. There's a driver, and there's at least one person that got out of the green Acura.
Just how we think over here, you guys.
I don't know if it may have been four people inside the Acura. We just simply don't know, and that's why we want the public's support to help us out. So I've answered everything that I can possibly answer. I've given you kind of where we're at now, try to paint a story as far as the timeline goes. We are taking the lead on this homicide investigation here at the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, and when we get more information, we'll make sure that we can provide that. I do want to emphasize the importance of cooperation, because your offices, your stations broke into your newscasts and got this out there immediately. And I'm the citizens of our Central Florida community are incredibly thankful for that, because we watched it when it broke in, and a lot of the news desks and the anchors really weren't even sure what was going to be played on there. So I want to thank you for getting that information out there. I want to thank you for your patience as we've tried to put the pieces of this together. Thank you.
One quick thing. Do you know how much of a lag there was between when the Good Samaritan recorded the video and contacting law enforcement?
It was immediate. It was nearly immediate. One was recording, one was driving. They called it in. It was right around 5:30 in the afternoon. I think our first unit was 6 or 7 minutes after that, making contact with them at that location. So, okay.
And here's the video again. Gets out, machine gun aimed at her. She probably has her slide over to the passenger seat. You can see one person's head right there moving around. That's in the driver's seat. I don't see any other movement. Let me go back to that again.
To put the pieces of this together. Thank you.
One quick thing. Do you know how much of a lag there was between when the Good Samaritan recorded the video and
they called it in? It was
okay, I wonder if that's something. There's a person right there. You can see the. Now I wonder if that's a person. Let me see if that moves. I don't see it. That's definitely a person's head moving around. I think there's just two people. There could be somebody else there, but those are just, I think those shapes.
So I want to thank you for getting that information out
there. But he said around 5:30. That doesn't really jive with his what he said about 3:30. Or what is that? Yeah, the gas station, it says, was 3:30 to 4:30. Or 3:30 to 4:30. Anyway, it's just this route. So maybe like at 4:30, it's right there. Then it takes a right. No, it actually doesn't do that. Let me get back up to. So after the gas station, it stays on 17, and then turns right on Button Road, right there, and then comes down onto Seminole Boulevard, follows that around until it gets to right in this area. It starts getting rammed on Lake Drive here by the green vehicle, and then it pulls up to this intersection and stops for some reason. In fact, let's just take a look at that again. I didn't even think about looking at like what was the traffic like. Look, there's nothing. They could have just pulled out and merged with somebody. Jesus. Okay, right there are cars, but if she was going to do a U-turn, couldn't she just went whoop and zipped around? And I think right when I think they edited out a lot of this. Well, that first image is just B-roll footage.
It was immediate.
I know,
It was
Diane.
nearly immediate.
We've gone through it already.
Gone
through the whole thing.
One was recording, one was driving. They called it in. It was right around 5:30 in the afternoon.
So like right then, there's nothing, but I think they edited out a lot of this. Let's see. Yeah, see, there was time. I mean, how long were they sitting here for? That's crazy. And then all of a sudden now there's turning. She could have easily turned by herself right when he got out of the car. Yeah, so anyways, it comes to this intersection here and then does a U-turn, goes this direction, and then probably they have her turn around and then she comes back out, comes around and then heads south on Tuscuala Road, keeps going down, and then goes way down, right down to this area right here, and then takes a left on Alma Avenue. But when it came here, it turned and went all the way over to the far right-hand lane, and then it got on to 417, and then drove all the way down 417, miles and miles, down to, and then got off on the Narcoosa Road exit, which is right here. You can see it on the sign. So it's driving. Look at, there's construction even in this video here. This is June of 2023. So it takes that exit right there. Okay, Narcoosa Road. And then after taking that exit, apparently, I'm just kind of, when I draw these lines, it's just sort of, you know, trying to get a general shape here. Comes around, and then obviously it comes around here and then gets onto Boggy Creek Road, which is right here. So I mean, if I go, let me grab this and make that a little bit better. So it'd be, this is Boggy Creek Road right here. Right. And then there's construction, apparently, new construction down here. I think it's going to be right here. This satellite map is, let me go up here to the top. Yeah, so this is January of this year. We're talking 3 months ago. So if you look at this area, and I think the name of that road, let's see, is it still called, oh, it's still called Boggy Creek Road up here. So I think it's more just right down in that area. This is car lots and stuff, but down here there's construction going on. There's Boggy Creek Road, and they said it's off of that. So it could be right in here, maybe. Something. I don't know, let's take a look. Maybe I'll go further on Boggy Creek. Yeah, I don't think so. I think that's the spot. Somewhere right here. They took a right in here. Kind of came around. Maybe somewhere in here the car was burned. That makes sense, actually. I just put a pin in there. And when you go down to Street View, it looks like all of that area is behind trees. So that's where he would have turned, and then behind there is where that construction's being done. So you watch. Go right there, and then you just right in here. See, this is obviously a construction site. So doesn't it seem pretty obvious that this is where the burn and the shooting happened? Right there, kind of a secluded place, you know. Right back in there. Okay, freaks, we're at 202. The Goldenite, if you're interested, is to hit 500, where I'll give 500 to RAIN, Violence Against Women, where every dollar, you know, it doesn't help support my channel tonight. It just goes straight there, all right? Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. We are at 210.42. Here, I'll put it on. I don't know if how you want me to do it, but I mean, I could put it on the screen. So that's where we're at currently. And thanks, Heather, N again. Yeah. They had to have had it this planned. It couldn't have been random, right? They had made a remote place. They had a remote place. Yeah, of course it was planned. I mean, isn't it obvious? We've already we've already established that. Now we try to like further the conversation, you know, like come up with something, you know, like let's see, what about this part? I think when you look at it and you see that both of them, or he said that she was up there visiting family, and there is no family up there, and that neither of them called 911, means that she likely was doing something that wasn't legal either, so needed an excuse of where she was going, because it's 280 miles from home. And it also made it so that you know, law enforcement wouldn't be called to look through the vehicle, and the people chasing her, seems like she was aware of who they might be too. And it was weird that they rammed the vehicle prior, because I mean, what did they want her to do? Pull over right then? I mean, it's strange to be ramming, and then like a minute later you stop and get out. It just creates so much attention. Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. Yeah, the husband knows something, but all it could just be, Carol, is that the husband is aware of who, you know, what she was doing. They're totally aware of it, right? So let's say the husband knows that she's going to be driving. This is just speculation, you guys, but let's say driving a kilo up to Orlando or something, and he knows that, but he's not going to be in the car too. Is he doing what? Why didn't he go? I guess you might ask. Maybe it's more suspicious or something. I mean, I don't know. But he doesn't go, and then when she calls him and says, "Hey, they're chasing me," he's like, "Yeah, just don't pull over. Just keep going." And she didn't do that, though. She pulled right over. So that's what makes you think maybe the other angle is like it's actually the husband behind, so the phone call makes sense, but then the ping of his phone wouldn't make sense because he should be all the way back down in Homestead. But that's why he didn't say to don't pull over. He told her to pull over. That's why she literally stopped at the intersection instead of running away from a car that's been ramming her. So it's weird. It's just a weird thing. Maybe she went rogue on her husband regarding drugs, and her husband had somebody chase her down. I mean, who the hell knows, right? I mean, it's 280 miles. Yeah, but don't you think it's weird that if the husband placed the hit, why were those guys so angry? Like why didn't they wait till she was in a nice spot and then boom, pull over and jump in the car? You know, instead they rammed her. Like that's kind of what angry people do. And then when she stopped, they got out of the car and jumped in. But I'll tell you what, you guys. Well, I'll just lower the goal. If we get to 300, I'll send 300 in. All right. It's just this is one of those nights. What happened to all the old freaks? You know, the man. It's brutal. Let's see. Well, do you guys have any other thoughts on this one? Anybody? Yeah. Well, that's all I got too. I mean, the volume of chatting is disturbing too. It's just like one comment, 5 minutes later another one, 5 minutes after that another one, just trickling in. Yeah, I think that's what I need. Wake up, everybody! Wake up, everybody! Wake up! We've got goals to reach. We have got to get to... We're sending it all into rain tonight. So tonight is on behalf of rain, okay? So anything that comes in, I'm taking the loss and sending that in, all right? Thank you very much. Let's see. Did they, she, what? Yeah, type that over again, Diane. That's brutal. I can't even understand that. Some ram, you fake a traffic collision and she would pull over. What? That doesn't make sense either. Man, this has been just brutal tonight. Not only that, the chats, the words people are using, I don't even know what anybody's saying. It's wild. All right, let's move over to the other case. All right. This one I don't really have mapped out or anything like that. So this is going to be the dismemberment one. We'll start off with the press conference on that too.
Morning, folks. I'm James Burnett, spokesman for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. I am here with Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball, Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman. A little bit of housekeeping really quick.
Well, thanks, 1L Michelle. She said, Rain, you got me at hello. A flashback to that Tom Cruise movie. What the hell is the name of that thing? He was like an agent, a sports agent. Oh, McGuire, Jerry Maguire. Okay, I just remembered it. So watch, it's going to be typed in. Here we go. Watch this. Jerry Maguire, 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 Jerry Maguire. Rain Man, that's hilarious. Thanks, 1L Michelle.
Quickly, you probably know this. If you don't, you probably should not.
This guy, look at this lame opening for this guy. Look at what he says. Watch this right out of the gate. Watch this. Listen.
Morning, folks. I'm James Burnett, spokesman for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office. I am here with Milwaukee County Sheriff Danita Ball, Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman. A little bit of housekeeping really quickly. You probably know this. If you don't, you probably should not be here.
You shouldn't be here if you don't know how to spell their names.
Sheriff Ball, B-E-N-I-T-A-B-A-L-L.
What kind of a stupid
Chief Norman, J-E-F-F-R-E-Y.
If you don't know that, you probably shouldn't be here.
You good?
Because we're so important.
Great. Okay, so we're here for a briefing.
I get called Gary on half my shows. Right? I get called Gary and I'm still doing this. Man, if you don't know my name, get the hell out of here.
Huh?
On the an ongoing investigation for human remains that were discovered early last week, and again, all the subsequent information that has come after that. I have to tell you, this briefing may be brief because there are a number of questions we may not be able to answer. That said, Sheriff Ball, Chief Norman will give you what they can, and on that, I will hand it off to the Sheriff.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to give a brief update regarding the severed leg that was found and some of the human remains that have been found throughout Milwaukee County.
Like Milwaukee County,
as
there's
you
body
know,
parts everywhere.
on April the 2nd at approximately 5:29 p.m. Milwaukee County 911
Have you tried the what's the other one? There's a super chat, and then what's the other one called? Try that one. Or sign back out or sign back in. But there's the one that's not as super chat. It's the super thanks or something. What the hell's that thing called? I don't know. The super sticker. Try that one. Oddball. Thank you.
Dispatch received a call from Cudahy
And by the
Police
way,
Department
mods, can you
regarding
watch
a
the comments so you can
severed
respond to them
leg
instead
at
of me?
Warnemont Park.
Thanks.
It was near the golf course and the pumping department regarding a severed leg at Warnemont Park. It was near the golf course.
Okay, let's see. Watermont Park. Where the hell is that? There you go. Well, thank you. See? Watermont Park. It's in shit. It's in Milwaukee, right? No, not in there. We're saying Watermont, right? Or Warnemont. That one. Is this over by, yep, near Milwaukee. There you go. Warnemont Park. And is there a golf course? I bet there is. I can see the outline in the trees right here. Ah, there we go. So we got that. So here is, I think it was Warnemont. Warnemont Park. And they said it was near the pump house. I wonder if that's what that is. That's the cart. It must be near the, if there's a water source over here. But they also use it for draining. Don't know. But somewhere in here. We'll just put this out here for now. All right, we're at 247. 247, you guys. Okay, what happens if I turn off, go to a different time of year? Yeah, that one might be easier to see a pump house or something. Yeah, don't see it.
And the 9 p.m. Milwaukee County 911 dispatch received a call from Cudahy Police Department regarding a severed leg at Warnemont Park. It was near the golf course and the pumping house. And so the leg was amputated from the around the hip down. And as a result, the leg appeared to be that of an African American female. Subsequently, a Milwaukee police officer who was aware of our investigation raised the possibility that the leg may be related to a missing person investigation that they were conducting, and that missing person was Sade Robinson.
Hey, do you guys see that? Heather N said she'll match if anybody puts 50 in, you know, combination of all you guys. She'll put 50 in. So it's as if you put 10 in if you did 5. All right, do you see that? Heather N. You guys can do it.
So On Wednesday,
What a
April the
grim
4th, our investigation led
have to
to a
investigate.
person of interest, Maxwell Stephen Anderson, who lives in the 3100 block of South 39th Street, where he was arrested after a traffic stop near the home. A search warrant was conducted. The severed leg has been preliminarily identified as belonging to Ms. Robinson. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Robinson family, friends, and the Milwaukee community who have embraced this family. We are sorry for your loss. It's such a tragic incident. Our investigators have worked around the clock on this investigation. As a result of their diligence and with the help of our criminal justice partners, the District Attorney's Office issued charges today against...
You guys did see what she said up there, you guys. Heather N. said, I will match $50 super sticker chat. Rain, let's go. All right, so if the rest of you put in 50, she'll match it. It's almost as if you guys didn't read what she said.
Maxwell Stephen Anderson for first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, and arson of property other than building.
So he killed somebody, burnt something, and then after he killed the girl, he dismembered her and threw the body parts all over the place.
Remains in custody. The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office would like to thank all of our partners involved in this investigation,
thanks, Heather.
specifically the Milwaukee Police Department, the Cudahy Police Department, the Kenosha Police Department, the Madison Police Department K-9 Unit, Great Lakes Search and Rescue K-9 Unit, the FBI, the ATF, the Department of Justice's Division of Criminal Investigation and their crime lab, the Medical Examiner's Office, the District Attorney's Office, the Milwaukee County Transit System, Wisconsin Southern Railroad, the United States Coast Guard, forensic anthropologist Gordon Karsten, and other partners who may have helped in this endeavor. Your help was very invaluable. Again, we extend our sincere condolences to the Robinson family as they navigate this difficult time and mourn the loss of Sade. I'm going to turn it over to Chief Norman, who's going to talk about other parts of the investigation.
There's 10.
Thank you, Sheriff Paul. First and foremost, on behalf of the Milwaukee Police Department, our hearts and prayers go out to the family of Sade Robinson. This is a horrendous tragedy, and above all else, we cannot imagine the pain that you must be going through.
Oh, this guy, get this guy out of here. What a joke. Let's just listen to everything he's saying. It's as if he's just going through the motions, reading. I mean, look at how lame this is one of the worst things I've ever heard. Just listen to this.
Thank you.
Watch this.
Thank you, Sheriff Paul. First and foremost, on behalf of the Milwaukee Police Department, our hearts and prayers go out to the family of Sade Robinson. This is a horrendous tragedy, and above all else.
I mean, it's like he's reading something right out of a newspaper clip or something. Oh, yeah, it's a tremendous tragedy, and above all else, have a little bit of, like, emotion on something like this.
We cannot imagine the pain that you must be going through.
Welcome, David Arnold.
Please know that you have our deepest thoughts and condolences. Details of some of the Milwaukee Police Department's involvement can be found in the criminal complaint that was filed by the District Attorney this morning. What we can share at this time is this. On April 2nd, Milwaukee Police Department investigated an arson at the 2800 block of West Lisbon Avenue. Video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street. On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains in the area. On Saturday, April 6th, MPD continued the search in the area and located additional human remains on the railroad tracks. Later in the evening on Saturday, April 1000, West Galena Street Avenue. That was filed by the district attorney this morning. What we can share at this time is this. On April 2nd, Milwaukee Police Department investigated an arson at the 2800 block of West Lisbon Avenue. Video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street. On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains
I'm gonna have to pause
in the
this.
area
Hold on.
avenue.
I gotta do this. This is where there was arson, somewhere in this area. Arson. Let's see. 2800 West Lisbon Avenue. Well, jeez. Heather N. Doesn't look like it's happening, but I appreciate your effort up there. Let's see. So we got arson, 2800 Lisbon, and the next thing you said was
video surveillance recovered from the arson investigation led investigators to search the area of 3000 West Galena Street.
3000. I love these types of press conferences where they give you information. 3000 West. What was the name? Yeah, shit.
1000 West Galena Street.
Galena. Galena. Or Galena? Oh, there it is. There it is. Galena, not Galena. It's right over here. So, investigating led to here. Hey, thanks Lisa L, Madame Nixie, and David Arnold. Hey, look at that. Almost halfway to the goal that was set up by, not the main goal, but the... And what was found there?
On Friday, April 5th, investigators located human remains in the area. On Saturday, April 6th, MPD continued the search in the area and located additional human remains on the railroad tracks. Later in the evening on Saturday, April 6th, MPD returned to the area when Miss Robinson's family located.
Just a second, I can see the railroad tracks right out to the side here. So more remains. More human remains. Well, thanks, Plato. So let's see this. 20, 25, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45. We got 45. Just 5 more and we get the matching. I guess it did happen. Holy crap.
Her blanket
Yeah, what was that?
in the area and located additional human remains on the railroad tracks. Later in the evening on Saturday, April 6th, MPD returned to the area when Miss Robinson's family located her blanket. At this time, detectives located additional human remains.
Blanket and more.
The identification of the human remains recovered by MPD are still pending. I repeat that.
You know, by the way, see, this is another one of those cases that somebody else shows up, family members, and they find all this stuff that the police should have found when they were there. How did the family go to the same area? And didn't you bring dogs down there that might have scented, perhaps, and maybe led you to something? You ever thought of that? There it is. Look at Heather Ann jumped in there. Thank you so much, Heather Ann. And thank you, Revengeance, and Elaine, and Plato, and David Arnold, and Madame Nixie, and Lisa L, and Allie Cake. All right. Oh, look at that. Man, we might even get to the original number here. Let's see what happens. We'll see. Yeah, we're at 373, only 120 away from 500 to rain, where I'll take a loss of 30%. All right? And that's okay. Because some nights you're just like, yeah, this is. Now we've got 2 different women in a row that have been just brutally murdered. Crazy.
The additional human remains is still being looked at, and the investigation is pending in regards to the identification of that. Please note we continue to search for additional evidence that has not been located.
All right, the goal now is 400. If we get to 400, I'm sending it in. We're at 373.57, even though it doesn't say that over here for some reason.
Anyone with information is asked to contact Milwaukee Police Department at 414-935-7360, or to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS, or P3-TIPS. We're grateful for the efforts of the Sheriff Department, the District Attorney's Office, and other federal and local law enforcement partners for their tireless efforts to gather facts and evidence.
I turned that on just for that. Yeah, I like hearing that one. We don't hear those as much anymore. We used to hear them all the time. All right. Gotta like that one. Gotta like that.
In this case, please remember, this is an ongoing investigation, and as information becomes available, we will do so in sharing it. And we also ask, please remember to respect the privacy of the family at this time and allow them to grieve. At this time, I'll turn it back over to Sheriff Ball.
So if you have some questions that we can answer, you can ask them now.
Just to clarify, so the severed leg has been confirmed connected to Robinson, but not the human remains found Friday, Saturday, and Sunday by the Milwaukee Police Department.
A preliminary investigation have shown that the leg is Miss Robinson's, and yes, the human remains have not been identified yet.
Are you looking into other missing women and reviewing those cases to possibly connect it to this case?
This is an ongoing case, and we have looked at other.
I mean, if those aren't connected, then you got a serial killer, and the killer is a white person. So I don't know what the not sure what the connection is between them. I mean, there could be various connections, but yeah, who the hell knows what's going on here? This is a weird one, but there happens to be a probable cause document that I have, and if you want, we can try to go through the damn thing.
Parts of the investigation
long,
to see if there are any others that could be linked, and so far there hasn't been any evidence that there is any other victims.
Are you concerned that there could be other victims?
By the way, why do they have that picture
There
in the
hasn't been
background?
anything that is pointing to that right now.
Prosecutors are saying that this happened from the time that the two went back to Anderson's house, according to the criminal complaint, until the time that he pinged to Warnemont Park, which is a pretty wide time frame. Do we know when this killing happened and where it happened? Was it at the home? Was it in the car? Was it at the park? I'm a little unclear on that portion of the criminal complaint.
We can't, it's still part of the ongoing investigation, so we can't comment on that.
Do you know how she died?
Can't comment on that.
Or do we know how they met, the suspect and the victim?
It's my understanding that they may have met at his place of employment, but right now we can't confirm that.
Since we don't have identification of all of the remains that have been found, can you confirm or not if there is any danger to the public?
At this time, we don't believe that there are any other victims out there and that the person who is responsible for this heinous crime has been arrested.
Are you still searching for remains for Ms. Robinson?
Yes, we are.
Do you know where those were?
Thanks, Ginger's Keys.
No.
Have you found have
Only
you
7 away
recovered
from
murder
the
weapons?
400 marker.
Ongoing investigation.
Folks, we have time. Interest of time, 2 more questions.
Has there been a motive established?
Ongoing investigation.
What did you find inside that home, specifically in the basement?
Cannot release that at this time.
Is anyone else connected to the crime? Will there be more charges?
We have no evidence there's anyone else that's related to this offense, but as I stated before, it is an ongoing investigation.
When is the soonest that we can expect another update?
As soon as we get information.
Is he speaking with investigators? Anderson?
It's my understanding that he has retained a lawyer.
Is there anything you can say about the sex dungeon?
No.
All right, folks.
Just could you describe the crime? I mean, this crime. Just how
I think
are your
that's her
investigators
saying.
doing
What sex
having
dungeon?
to tackle this right now?
Well, just
Can you say anything? That's one of those ones where you heard a rumor and you say, "Can you say anything about the sex dungeon?" And she's like, "What sex dungeon? What the hell are you talking about?" That pretty much confirmed there is no sex dungeon. Perhaps I don't know. We have to go through the probable cause.
know that someone has, been dismembered in a fashion like that. Our investigators, they want to find justice for the victim, and so right now that's what their focus is on. But any crimes like this, it's bound to at some point in time have an effect on those who are involved.
Sheriff, thanks. Chief.
All right, well, check it out. We just got to the secondary goal of 400, so I'll send it in now. Unless you guys think it's possible we get to the big goal, which was 500. That's what I'll send in to range. Should I hold off? I mean, we're already at 2 hours, and I'm going to go over this thing and this probable cause, so it might be good to just do it now. Let's just do it now. All right. So just right now, it's the 400 you sent is all going to rain. And then it's kind of an odd number, though. Tell you what, I'll send in 500 anyways, okay? Even though we're there. We didn't make it to that, but I'll send in 500. If we happen to randomly get there, great. All right. So here we go. 500 to rain. See? give.rain.org. All right, now I'm going to click over here, so I have to sign in. So you'll get to see it, though. You'll get to see the receipts. All right, hold on. All right. Ding, ding, ding. I gotta put my name and everything in there. Address. I don't believe it. He's not really sending it, everybody. Right now I'm creating these fake emails to be sent to my account just so it looks right. Does anybody have an employer out there that might match? Or a company that might match? Can somebody quickly try to find a matching company? So I'm gonna send 500 in anyways. And if you guys want to get there during the rest of the show, that's great. If not, it's being sent in. So let's try to find somebody out there that's matching the rain, because I can type it in and it'll effectively make it it'll make it 1,000. That'd be sweet. Come on, you guys, look it up. Come on. Try to help out what I'm saying here, not other conversations. We can make it count. Gosh, Gray, I just want to watch the show. I don't want to look anything up. What? What are you guys talking about in there? Retire? Who's asking if somebody's retired or anything? Who's asking that? I want to know if you guys can find a company out there that matches the rain donation. Forget it. Jesus, you guys are... Right, here we go. I'm just going to hit the button. Too late. I'm not going to stare at the screen. And that's too late. I'm moving on. And that's it. So it says right here on the screen, thank you for supporting RAIN and the survivors we serve. Your support makes our work possible. Please print out this contribution confirmation page for your records. Contribution information. I guess I have to print it. Hold on. I guess I got that, and then I can save it. Yeah. Okay. I think they email something too, though, so I don't know if I needed to print that off. Let's see. Opening up my email. So see here, I can see at the bottom of the screen right there. Look at right there. There it is. Scott at RAIN. You click on that and there it is. RAIN. Dear Lance. It's gray, for God's sakes. And there it says, with your gift of $500, and the date of the email is it was 8:12, 1 minute ago. There it is, everybody. I know that you think it's not real, the trolls out there, but there it is. All right. So thank you, guys. And like I said, if you want to help actually get to the main number, that'd be great. But we sent it in anyways. I can see you guys all hustled to get to that. Let's see. Let's get back to... I think we're ready to do the document now. Right. It wouldn't matter if you couldn't find anything, because I already did it. I don't know anything about Ashton Kutcher. It's a little bit frightening. So this is the guy up here, Maxwell S. Anderson. Right there. The below named complaint being duly sworn on information on belief states first degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, arson of property. It says right here, the above named defendant on about Tuesday, April 2nd on, oh, there it is, at 18, so we get all the information now. So type that in. Let's see how close it was to the pin, so it wasn't even, it's not where it is. So this is where the arson was. So arson. Okay, and then let me go up to the other ones. I'm sure it had something. Mutilation of a corpse, dismemberment, probable cause complaint. On Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024 at around 5:29 p.m., members of law enforcement, including the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and the Cudahy Police Department, responded to Warmamont Park, located at 5400 South Lake Drive, to report a human leg located on the beach. On the beach? Where the hell would the beach be? Oh, so the pump house, is that what that is? Oh, well, there you go. That makes sense now. Yeah, see, you can get down there. The rest of it's cliffs, so that's really the only spot. Right there. See that? But there's a road, a little road that kind of winds down in there. Oh wait, hold on. We gotta get this fixed up in here. My hat's so low on my head. Let's see. We got. I want to forget. I was at the. So 15,500 this year so far. And the grand total is 19,510. 195,000. I mean, wait, what did I just do right there? I think I screwed it up. 195,100. There we go. So that's our grand total since January of 2020. 195,100 non-grifted dollars went to various charities out there. On our DNA fund, our scholarship fund, etc. All right. So thank you, freaks out there, for helping make this all happen. If you want to still help out, support the channel tonight as we try to get up to the original goal, which has already been donated, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much. Because currently, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter. Screw it. But man, as soon as I sent that in, amazing. On Tuesday, April 2nd, 24 around 5:29 p.m., members of law enforcement, including the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office and Caddy Police Department, responded to Warnemont Park, located at 5400 South Lake Drive, to a report of a human leg located on the beach. First responders were led by the citizen who called police to the leg. Responding deputies located the right leg of what appeared to be a black female. The leg was severed just below the hip socket, and it appeared to have been sawn off. The toes on the feet had pink nail polish. The leg did not appear to be decomposing, so it was just put there. So this is a leg. What did they say? The right leg, right? Right leg not decomposing, sawed off at hip. That's crazy. Thanks, Paulette Leonard. Deputy Leon Martin was one of the first responding sheriff deputies. Deputy Martin spoke to EM, who discovered the leg. EM stated he was meeting his friend at the park. EM stated he and his friend were walking towards the beach water and then saw the leg just north of the Warnemont pump house. Well, it's kind of where I have it, but kind of think it's probably like right in there, like that. At the shoreline. Shit. Okay. Deputy Martin reports that the area where the leg was located contains a bluff that is approximately 100 feet tall. The leg was originally found about 2/3 of the way down the bluff towards the water's edge. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Nathan Spittelmeister searched the area of the park for any cameras that may have captured something related to the discarding of the leg. Detective Spittelmeister, I bet that name wasn't fun to have as a kid, located a video from Cudahy High School that shows the parkways nearest to the pump house at the shoreline. Wow, really? The hell? Oh, it's probably just right here. This is the high school. Okay. High school shows the parkways nearest to the pump house at the shoreline. The road that leads to the pump house is closed to vehicle traffic by a gate secured by a padlock. Let's see, did anybody... Oh, right there. Let's take a look. Turn. Gate with a padlock. Can I get a boom? I knew it, man. I knew it. I knew that was the right one. So that's the spot. Just doing the double verifications there. The road that leads to the pump house is closed to vehicle traffic by a gate secured by a padlock and chain. The video footage shows at approximately 2:53 a vehicle entering the video frame headed eastbound on the parkway towards the road to the pump house. The video shows that vehicle did not make a southbound or northbound turn once reaching the intersection. Oh yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were just on, in fact. It didn't make a north or south, it just went straight through. Video shows the vehicle did not make a southbound or northbound turn once reaching the intersection nearest to the service road. The vehicle disappears from the video footage, consistent with the vehicle driving down the road that leads to the pump house. Right. Complainant knows the service road to the pump house would be the furthest that the car could go to get near Lake Michigan in that area. Detective Spittlemeister spoke to Cudahy Police Detective Brian Olson, who informed Detective Spittlemeister that on the morning of April 2nd, 2024, employees of the Cudahy Water Department reported that the service gate had been struck by a vehicle. The damage to the gate was done after the evening of April 1st and before the morning of April 2nd. This is consistent with when the vehicle was seen on video driving into the service road. Detectives Joseph Blanchard from the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office went to the pump house gate and recovered broken pieces of a vehicle that were determined to belong to a Honda Civic. Yeah, this is like total police work right here, isn't it? These damaged pieces would be consistent with the vehicle ramming the gate to get through. Detective Spittlemeister also recovered video from the pump house. Wow, there's video of the pump house that faces north in the direction of where the severed leg was. So that must mean that there is a camera. Oh, look at that 3D view. I forgot I had that. There's a camera on the pump house right there. Maybe that's even the camera right there, that little part. And it's facing this direction. Oh man, they're going to have a picture of the guy. Don't you just see? This is what why this channel's better than the other ones, you guys. Right here. Of course, nobody watches this part; they take off. But the way we go through this shit, by the time you're done, you're like, I was there. Right? You could almost think that you were there. Hey, tree. This is consistent with the vehicle seen on video driving. Okay, then Detective Spittlemeister also recovered video from the pump house that faces north in the direction of where the severed leg was recovered. At approximately 3:02 a.m., a human figure can be seen descending the bluff to beach level. This figure appears to make multiple attempts to walk between the beach and the service drive for the pump house, probably back and forth to the car to get more parts. At approximately 4:31 a.m., the vehicle then entered the closed gate, leaves, and ultimately leaves the park heading westbound. And obviously, other people think other channels are the best, but you know, if I was talking for myself, I'd say that's why I think I am. Because I work through the cases where you try to put all the pieces together, and then what does this mean? This one, they've already made an arrest, but it's pretty crazy. I guess if we go back up to the top here, we could go to where the blanket was, or not the blanket yet, the arson was. So it's going to be this building right here. Go down to street view. You can take a look at it. So this one right here, at arson, that's where we're at currently. The leg was recovered and transported to Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's Office and was examined by Dr. Lauren Decker. During the examination, based on the size of the leg, Dr. Decker estimated the height of the person to be approximately 5 feet tall. There were multiple cutting impressions across the amputation point, as well as a sharp force trauma to the exposed femur bone. However, the top of the femur bone appeared to have been snapped off. Wow. The leg appeared to have been intentionally severed with a sharp instrument, including the bone being sawn halfway through. So the bone was halfway through and then they snapped the rest of it off. At approximately 9 p.m., this is like such an easy to understand document. It's crazy, right? I think it's all of it, Michelle, because I think see, there's a lot of channels out there. I'm just going to say it right here. See, I do the mapping because mapping is part of putting all the pieces together. It's huge. Really big portion of a case. But see, there's people that can't think their way out of a shoebox that get thousands of people to watch. They don't even know what they're looking at. They just sit there and ramble on for hours and everybody's like, yeah, wow, okay, yeah. It's just like a place to vent shit. See, over here, we actually try to figure stuff out. You know, that's where the difference is. And I think we do, I think I, as a YouTuber, do a good job of putting the information together and coming up with the most rational idea. And, you know, sometimes you try to think outside of that a little bit, but you're using the factual information to do all of those things. Just like last night in the, Madeline Soto case. You know, it's like, hey, did she ever make it home? And then you can point to things that sort of suggest maybe she did make it home, but then was taken away during the night to be somewhere else. Who the hell knows? So anyways, that's how this channel does it. All right, so we're gonna keep going through this document. We had somebody else up there. Our goal for the night was 500. We only got the 400, but I still sent the 500 in. So if you want to help reach the 500 and the rest of the show, for who's ever still out there, that would be great. Thank you, Simply Me. Approximately 9 p.m. on April 2nd, a walk-in report was made by AJ at the Milwaukee Police Department District 5 station. AJ reported that her friend, Sade C. Robinson, had not been returning AJ's calls and had not showed up for work. AJ provided a phone number for Robinson, which was 414-510-4769. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Let's just see if that shows up, just to see how good Ben Verified works. I'll put the phone number in. 414-510-4769. Sade C. Robinson. Right there at the end. Boom. So yes, that does work. Ben Verified. Very cool, very cool. Anyways, and reported she lived at 1858 North Commerce Street. 1858 North Commerce Street, apartment 309. Now let's get this. I'm going to get this all in there. You know what? See, here's how it works, you guys. I do the hard work by putting all this stuff together, and then you get other YouTubers, they just watch it, take the cliff notes, and make a video on it. Happens every time. How many times have you guys seen that? It's unbelievable. All right. But Gray, why didn't you just make one? Well, I was working through it with you guys. Okay, that's where Sadie Robinson lived, right there. Milwaukee police officer Nora Barlow responded to Robinson's apartment to conduct a welfare check and was not able to make contact with Robinson. AJ further reported to investigators that the last known activity of Robinson was a Snapchat that AJ viewed showing that Robinson was at Duke's on Water, located at 158 Genoa Street. That's called Duke's on Water. Alright, right there. I guess that's called Duke's on Water. Right there. Thanks, Ginger's Keys. Duke's on Water, located at, so it's in Milwaukee. No further contact had been made with Robinson after that. Upon hearing of the discovery of the leg near Warnermont Park, Officer Burlow contacted the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office to inform them of the report of Robinson being missing, as well as the vehicle fire. So that the vehicle fire, was that the arson? Complainant knows through contact that the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office has had with Robinson's family and friends. That Robinson is approximately 5 feet tall. Complainant knows that Robinson listed height with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation is 5 feet tall. Thanks, M. Jordan Jardin. Officer Burlow, as well as Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office, Detective Joseph Blanchard, made contact with employees of Robinson's apartment building. The apartment maintenance employee, EF, indicated that he had last seen Robinson on April 1st, 2024. Another employee, building secretary CAS, reported that she would frequently see and speak with Robinson, and Robinson told CAS that she was excited for a date she had this evening. Oh boy, here we go. She was supposed to have a date this evening. Detective Joseph Blanchard also reviewed video surveillance footage from the apartment building at 1858 North Commerce Street. I mean, what an amazing investigation this was. But it's only made possible by cameras, if you notice. That's why we need more cameras, just like they do in the UK. And especially with the violent crime that we have here. Without law and order, where you have no, at least you can, if you had a lot of cameras out there, you can solve these. Detective Joseph Blanchard also reviewed video surveillance footage from the apartment building and said footage depicts Robinson leaving the building around 9 a.m. on April 1st. Robinson is wearing a black puffy coat, a white shirt, light color blue jeans with multiple tears in front, and white shoes. Furthermore, on April 2nd, 2024, at approximately 7:32 a.m., members of the Milwaukee Fire Department responded to 1819 North 29th Street for a vehicle fire. Oh, wow. So there was a vehicle fire. And that was on April 2nd. That's crazy. So then there was a vehicle fire. April 2nd, 7:32 a.m. I think is what it said. Yep. This might take us a couple days to get. This one's a long. Watch this one. I'll start right here. Watch this. I mean, it just keeps going. This is the guy right here, by the way. But I think this is interesting enough where, I mean, I want to go through this whole thing. Don't you guys? But let's see how far we get by the 3 hour mark. All right. Let's see. April 2nd. There it is. Furthermore, on April 2nd, 2024, at approximately 7:32 a.m., members of the Milwaukee Fire Department responded to 1819 29th Street for a vehicle fire. First responders located a 2020 Honda Civic with Wisconsin registration ASP1171. The vehicle had sustained extreme fire damage, completely damaging the interior of the Civic. A check of that vehicle registration revealed that vehicle belonged to Robinson. Items of Robinson's were discovered in the vehicle as will be described later in the complaint. Complainant states on information and belief that this vehicle is worth more than $100. Well, I sure as hell hope so. Would anybody want to be driving a vehicle worth less than $100? In response to the discovery of the human leg at Warnemont Park, as well as the similar timing of Robinson being reported missing, as well as the arson of Robinson's vehicle, don't forget the height, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective Matthew Vandertye obtained records from Verizon Wireless, the servicer, for the number belonging to Robinson. Man, these guys just nailed this shit. It should be noted that AJ, as well as family members of Robinson, confirmed that number belonged to her. Detective Vandertye reports that records were received from Verizon that included call detailed records, location records, as well as recent text message content. Upon review of the text message content, Detective Vandertye located a text conversation between Robinson and the telephone number 262-416-4874. This was the last text message conversation in the records that contained outgoing messages from Robinson. And so here are those messages. Hey, where are we meeting? I can do 5. Well, that's not really answering the question. Downtown somewhere? I guess they're just... Where are we meeting? I can do 5. Oh, that's the same person. I can do 5 o'clock. Where are we meeting? Downtown somewhere. Okay. Brat House on 3rd? Perfect. Where is Brat House? Hold on. Okay, so they were at Duke's at Waterfront. This is Brat House though, and that's State. That's not the right one. Is there another one? Capitol. That's Oakland Avenue. I would think it would be this one here. Let me go down to the street view here. Or was it State Street? Is that what he said? I said Brat House on 3rd. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to shower quick. I'll probably get there more around 5:15. So you mean 6 o'clock. You are a woman after all. Are you hungry? Come on, you guys are never on time. If you gotta meet somebody, there's this one girl that I knew that I wanted to date after when I was waiting for her at a bar about a minute before she was supposed to be there. She literally called the restaurant and had somebody at the restaurant come over to my table and say, hey, she's running a little late. Because that was so rare. Nobody else, I just tell you, people, at least back then, they didn't even care. They would just go, if they're 35 minutes late, they just walk in and pretend that was okay. Come on, that's not good, right? You're always early, Donna? Wow, that's amazing. But I think if you were a guy in here, you'd say a lot of times they show up fashionably late. That's mean, Gray. What? Oh, jeez. Come on. Look at every time I've tried to go out the door, my wife will sit there and go, yeah, I'll be ready in 10 minutes. 10 minutes comes. Okay, 5 more minutes. Yeah, 5 more minutes. Okay. All right, like 5 more. I'm almost there. Okay. And then we're late. Okay. Every time. I've been ready to go the whole time. Oh, you guys are crazy. Come on. That's mean, Gray. I think it's cool when somebody doesn't like to be late, Cheryl. That's exactly the way everybody should be. I think it's rude when people are late all the time. It's like you don't care about somebody else's time. Now, yes, sometimes I do a show and I'm 2 minutes late, or 3 or 4 or 5. All right, I apologize, but sometimes there's other elements. This isn't like a TV show where there's producers and they get everything running. Well, I'm glad to know that a lot of you are on time. I'll have to change it to some women. Did you hear, Gray? What a misogynist. He said that women are late sometimes. What a bastard. Oh, God. That's what they get. Just like you guys. There's things that people say about guys all the time, but nobody ever calls. What's the opposite of a misogynist? Anything? I don't even wear makeup. Very rarely. Doesn't take long. Well, good. No. No, well, what do men call women that are anti-guy? Yeah, I guess maybe a feminist. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's about right. But I don't really think of it like that. Feminists are just people that are for women. Right? Gynecologist. That's pretty good, Daphne. I gotta give you some credit for that one. Gynic means woman, by the way. That's the morpheme. Gin, gan, gin. Gynic. Let's see. Well, that used to be that. Oh, jeez. Here comes Veruca Salt. I don't think so. I don't think that's right. All right, let's see. So anyways, it said, where are we meeting? I can do 5. Downtown somewhere. Okay. Broad House on 3rd sound good? Perfect. Gee, this sounds like, you know what this sounds like? Like something out of like Leave It to Beaver. I mean, just the most ludicrously polite. Where are we meeting? I can do 5. Gee, downtown. You know what this reminds me of? A Breakfast Club, when Judd Nelson's character was, Bender, was saying, imitating the kid, the redheaded kid, right? The Michael Anthony Hall character. Right? When he's like, gee, that's swell. Where are we meeting? I can do 5. Downtown somewhere. That's okay. Brad House on 3rd? Perfect. Okay, I'm going to shower quick, and I'll probably get there more around 5:15. Are you hungry? I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. What time is this at? I mean, what time? See, look, it was already late now. Are you hungry? Yeah, because if you are, I need to stop at Twisted Fisherman to pick up my W-2 from last year, and we can eat there first. Okay, yes. Where's Twisted Fisherman? Is that the one we got already? Well, I guess that's Twisted Fisherman. Man, you guys are just a barrel of fun. Yes, I love seafood. Sounds good. I'm about to leave. I'll be there soon. And then a bunch of emojis. Just got too twisted. Okay, are you inside? Just got too twisted. Okay, so Twisted Fisherman. Yes. Detective Van Dirty searched law enforcement databases which showed an association between 26241658874 and Maxwell Anderson. And so that's the arrested individual. The above-named defendant, furthermore, upon checking Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office booking records, the defendant provided that phone number to the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office during a booking process in April of 2023. Investigators then checked Wisconsin Department of Transportation records, which revealed the defendant listed address is 3161. Let's get that in there. 3161. Where is it? 3161 South. Crap. South 39th Street. So this is his house. His house. Maxwell Anderson. Where did she live? Yeah, Sade Robinson lived up there. Okay. Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office Detective John Gillett responded to Twisted Fisherman, located at 1200 West Canal Street in Milwaukee, to attempt to determine if Robinson went to that location. Detective Gillett recovered surveillance video from Twisted Fisherman. Complainant has reviewed that video as well and has also reviewed booking photos of the defendant as well as photographs of Sade Robinson. The video shows in sum as follows. At approximately 5:09 p.m. on April 1st, the defendant enters Twisted Fisherman from the west. His face is clearly visible in the exterior cameras, or on the exterior cameras of the restaurant. At 5:20 p.m., Robinson enters the restaurant from the east, then approaches the bar and sits next to the defendant. The defendant and Robinson remain at the bar eating and having drinks together until they leave the restaurant around 6:24. They both leave towards the east, which is in the direction of Robinson that Robinson arrived from. Robinson is still wearing a black puffy coat, a white shirt, light color blue jeans, multiple tears in front, white shoes, and she is carrying a dark grayish brown purse. The defendant is wearing his hair in a ponytail, a red flannel coat with a gray hood, and a black t-shirt with Carhartt written in white across the chest, as well as dark jeans. There are no cameras at Twisted Fisherman that depict the parking lot. All right, I got to go use the facility, so you're going to have to listen to some music. Thank you, Jonna Aldridge.
Ooh la la. 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 Okinawa. Okinawa.
All right. Yeah, what do you need to know that the name? We've already gone through all this stuff. Yeah. Maxwell Anderson, and her name is Robinson. Yeah, we already went through all that. But anyways, here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to... how about if I come on and do like an earlier show tomorrow? We'll just go through this thing. It's already getting kind of late. There's so much more. I want to go through the whole damn thing. Look at this. It just goes on and on and on. It's awesome. I love these kind of probable cause documents, though. So, all right, sweet. I don't need anybody sending me links or any help on it. This document here has anything that you need to know, right? He did make it to the... he did have a hearing today. So, there he is right there. You know?
Since that statement was made, there has been additional human body remains recovered. That is also...
yeah, so anyways, there's the guy right there, okay? So we'll do this, I'll just come on and do like a show where we'll just go over the whole thing. Yeah. By the way, I say this all the time, but people seem to do it anyways. If you send me links, I don't want to hear your long, drawn-out theory on anything. And the reason is because I want to think through the case by myself. Because there's been times, actually, where I think through the case on my own. Somebody sends me an email that I don't even look at, and because there's some similarities, because they thought the same things, they go, oh, you got that from me, so don't send it to me, okay? I can do it myself. I don't need the thinking part. Now, if you have there's some people, that I communicate with where we're, working, trying to figure out the answers. Like sometimes with Zozo, we're working on a bunch of shit. And those are the things that I go, okay, cool, that sounds good, that sounds good. I don't want the long, drawn-out theories in emails. And it's just a waste of your time. And I think everybody understands that, right? Like, I think it's strange, though, when you get one that's almost like reading a novel. And I actually don't even read them. I'll just write back and I go, I don't have time for a novel. But then sometimes I'll take the time to read the novel because then I felt bad that I just don't have time. I mean, you get it, right? I mean, yeah. I mean, just say hey, great, check out this case. And maybe send a link. I don't need 19 links because you already went out and did the research and everything. I'd rather do it myself because then it's more interesting. I mean, how interesting is it for somebody to have somebody else do everything and just hand it to you, and then you go, oh, okay, so here we go. Yeah, so you're just sort of repeating what somebody else did. It's just not, it's not fun. No, you do not. Get credit for what, Veruca Salt? For sending a link? No. The story, it's just a story that you say, hey, great, have you thought of this one? Right. Yeah, you haven't heard of this one because it was just in the news, but it's an interesting one. So we're going to do an earlier show tomorrow, like at around, I don't know, maybe noon or something. And we'll just go through the whole document by itself. All right? But this guy apparently went on this date, and he killed a woman. And after he killed her, he cut her up into parts, put her body parts all over the city of Milwaukee, and burnt her car, and I think some other location as well. So it's wild. Why would I give you credit for a link, Veruca Salt? It's a link. It's just, why? I mean, I don't even remember, people send me links, I just throw them in a bucket somewhere, and I look at it later. But sometimes I do say, oh, so-and-so sent me something. But, I mean, if you're waiting for that, then you're in the wrong channel, okay? Nobody does that. It's just a story out in the news, right? That's all it is. Like, hey, Gray, have you checked out this case? Oh, yeah, let me take a look at it. Hey, so-and-so, John Smith over there had me look at a link. Well, what kind of credit is that? Yeah. See, that's what me. Nobody does that. Okay. On just somebody sending a link. Hey, have you seen this case? But I do say it sometimes. You know. Yeah, I mean, I do it, but I mean, if that's what you're waiting for, and if you don't get credit, you're one of the people who get angry for sending a link, then you're not, this is the wrong place. I don't like having that sort of, you know, because a lot of times I just put the link in a folder somewhere. I don't change the name of the link and say, Veruca Salt sent this link. It's just in a folder. Like, if I don't have something else to do, I look at them. These two tonight were happening right now, and they're interesting. But yeah, I do give credit sometimes, you know. Especially if it's something like, I don't know, some sort of a piece of information that I needed or something like that. But if it's just like, hey, here's a story, you know. Does that seem unreasonable to you guys? Or I do mention sometimes. Effing now. I don't know, Gray. I need credit when I send you something, you bastard. God, I mean, just a mention. Jesus. Whew, wow. Let's see. I mean, is that really what the standard is? Do you hear any YouTubers giving every single story they cover, they mention everybody that sent them a link on? I mean, give me a break. I've never even heard it. I do it sometimes, especially, you know, if it's something that I wasn't aware of or something. And like I said tonight, one of the freaks sent me the first story. I said that. The thing is, I say out loud what the reality is, and other people don't say it. But when I say it out loud, I'm an ass. Like if I go, yeah, why would you ever do that? Oh, see. But the other YouTubers, they don't say it out loud. They just think, why would I do that? Hey, Donna, what's going on? See, look at that. Veruca Salt took off because she's like, man, if I sent you a link, you're not going to say it? Okay, bye. Freak of the month. Maybe we should have a freak of the month. A prize for the story idea? Jesus, are you kidding me? I mean, I'm giving away 5 memberships now, you know, on the nights. And well, I used to do like a spinning wheel and all this stuff. It's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe I can get back to doing that. Try to do that again. I have to pause the show every second though and put the name up there. But let's try that on the next show. We'll do that. If you send in $5 or more, you get a slice of a pie on a spinning wheel for each $5. So if you put 20 in, you get 4 slices. Right? It's just sort of it's a giveaway to the people who are supporting the channel in the financial realm. And then maybe I can try at the end of the month to do the membership spins again. It's pretty hard though. You got to get into the Google and get all the members, download it as a CSV file, then support it by level, and then make it their own little text file, and put them out on the. Don't worry, Veruca Salt. We'll give you some credit somehow. But your name just gives you credit, doesn't it? I mean, Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I want it now. Oh. Let's see. Chicken wing. Could hang your picture. Look, I got a subscriber by singing Veruca Salt's song. Did you guys see that? That's amazing. That was that good. That was that good. Yeah, this case just happened, Zozo, if you're wondering. But her last name is Robinson. I forgot the... no, Sadie Robinson. S-A-D-E. Carlina Robinson. I'll probably check him out on Ben Verified later. See if he has any priors or anything. But anyways, you guys interested in going over that again? I think that's a pretty sweet document. I mean, it's written so well. Very good investigation. There's going to be a whole bunch more text messages and everything. All right. So anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? And thank you for the people who helped out. We didn't quite reach the main goal. Although I donated what I said I would donate if we hit 500. So I donated 500 after we hit 400. And we got up to 416. So, you know, it's a big loss for Grant Hughes Investigates. But, hey, you know, sometimes you gotta go out there and kick some ass. So we're already at $1,000 given away this month so far. Right, thanks to Crystal, aka Beaver Gaming Sub Crystal, the longest name in YouTube history. Plato, start off well. Lorraine, Hallie, Jessica Schubach, Lisa Valenzuela, then Cheryl gifted a membership. I think if we get the gifted memberships in there, we probably more like 450, I guess. Your Gypsy, Wise Child, Lasso Lacey, 1L Michelle, Paulette Leonard, Simply Me, 1L Michelle again, Cheryl, Alley Cake, Ginger Keys, Wendy Van Rokel, Joan Kuhn, Judy Grandstrand, Carol Z, Amy's Justice League, 26 months. And then Amy's Justice League, Super Chat, Simply Me, K-Me, Michelle H, 1L Michelle, This Account, Simply Me, MK, Georgina Stoliker, Heather N, Georgina Stoliker, Nashville, Sarah Kate, 1L Michelle again. So some of you really, multiple donations and support. Thank you very much. Oddball, Heather N, Alley Cake, David Arnold, new member, Lisa L, Madame Nixie, and then David Arnold, Plato, Elaine, Revengeance, and Heather N with the one cat eye. Simply Me, Ginger's Keys, David Arnold, Paulette Leonard, Simply Me, Ginger Keys, M. Jordan Jarding, and Donna Aldridge. And somebody gifted, where was that? There was 5 memberships gifted up there. There it is, right there. That was Wendy Van Rokel gifted 5 memberships. Wait, no, it wasn't. It was Judy Grandstrand. Wendy Rokel was up there, though. Judy Grandstrand gifted the 5 memberships. All right. Well, thank you, guys. See, and this is what the thing is. This is how this channel makes a difference out there. Even if I sat here and I made faces for the entire show, like literally just stared in the screen and went, we're still making a difference. Do we get credit if we send you a link? I don't know. I mean, it has to be sort of a unique thing that you send where I give somebody credit. You know, like that first story was interesting, right? It was that one was sent. I just said a freak sent it. I mean, I'm not even sure people want their names on stuff like that. Because a lot of times they send me the email with their real name, not their YouTube name, and then I'll end up saying their real name, and they go, Gray, I want a credit on my YouTube name, you bastard. I know, both of these are crazy tonight, too. I mean, absolutely nuts. Both of them. I said the same thing earlier, too. Insane. But yeah, I think this will be cool. We'll just do this tomorrow at like, what do you think? How about noon my time? How about not noon? How about 11 or so? Like 11, we'll just do this document. All right? Sound good? All right. Thank you guys for all those replies to my question. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow, and thank you all for being here. I was supposed to be on Court TV, but I said I couldn't be on Court TV because my wife was missing for a while in the Philippines, but she wasn't really missing, but she was off the grid unexpectedly for like 30 hours because her phone, she didn't have a charger for over there. I guess she needed like a 220 converter or some shit. And then also the hotel had really bad Wi-Fi. So it was just like, oh my God. I was absolutely, it was crazy though. I turned into investigator mode though. So if you missed the beginning of the show, I turned into investigator mode where I saw where her last Life 360 was, found that location. It looked like a really shitty, I mean, it looked like just a horrible part of town. And I was like, oh my God, is that just her phone that pinged there? It was the last ping 20-something hours ago. So then I tried to get a hold of the family members that she was with, and nobody had their numbers, and they weren't answering either. When I tried to get them on Facebook, and then I got a hold of her bank and said, has there been any transactions made? Because I'm on the account too. And she gave me, I got my sign on for the account, and then I got the automatic notification when that card's used so I could track if something came in. So I was already like, boom, I was on the move. And then all of a sudden one of the relatives called him and goes, oh yeah, she's sleeping over here. Shit. It was like 30-something hours though. And normally she checks in, and the whole phone thing was freaking me out. Like, what are the odds that your phone dies so it's not pinging anymore, and you don't have Wi-Fi? Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's why people say sometimes, hey, Gray, if I ever go missing, I'm going to have them get a hold of you. Yeah. All right. So, thanks, everybody, for being here tonight and making it so it's possible to be able to do the stuff that we do. Giving away 500 tonight again to RAIN, which is Violence Against Women. They also, I think they have an arm that tests the backlog of rape kits. And I think that's something that we should put $1 billion into in Congress for the backlog of rape kits. You know, especially the ones where there's like, they already know that it's the same person. I mean, just get these going, for God's sakes. All right. Wow, don't all chat at once. Well, thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow, and be safe out there. Well, thanks,
I've
Chicken
been doing
Wing.
this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is
That's right, Cheryl.
crime dissector.
A kegger.
Rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector.
Gonna get you.
On a stretcher.
What are you talking about,
If you try
Mary
and play me like an old projector.
Hey, Gray, what's a kegger?
Dissector.
Nah, you don't need to
Here's
know.
my
You don't need to
nectar.
know.
Professor Gray is gonna
No,
give
seriously,
me
what's a kegger?
lecture. Crime collector.
That's a big barrel with
and
beer
I'm
in
always
it.
gonna be a pup protector, fool reflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I'm a temple fucking checker. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without agenda. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work.
Yeah, Mary Lou, try to do the imitation of Murdoch. Okay, try to do it. Let's see. Now I'm going to play it. All right.
Huh?
That's not too bad. Let me do that again.
Huh?
Huh?
Okay, now do it's a house, okay? Can you do that one?
It's a house.
It's a house!
We'll do them both now.
Huh? It's a house!
That's not too bad, Mary Lou. Not too bad. All right. See you guys later. And be safe out there.